Good morning. Our hand today is going to be pocket nines. In this hand, we have mid position player open raises 2.8. He's playing 32-20. Mid position stats 22%, VPIP 22%, preflop raised, raise first in stats 29%. It doesn't really limp. I think he's at probably 20, mid 20s, mid to low 20s probably. So when we look at it, this is 21%. We can add on to it, but I think this is probably a decent starting point for the range. He's got big cards. He's got suited cards, suited connectors, speculative hands. I think we're gonna go with that. So then it's my turn. This is my three better call range. In this case, I went with a call. I looked at players behind us, and none of them really look overly tight. I'm sorry, overly loose, and none of them really look overly aggressive. So I'm just gonna go ahead and call this. And as it turns out, we get two callers behind us, which seems a little strange, but well, it is what it is. We'll start with this player. This player's playing 11-10, 5% three bet, and 3% pre-flop call a 2-bet. Basically, this guy's tight. I think he's got just all speculative hands, something just like this. And this, he might not have these little pocket pairs, but this is what I'm expecting. Pocket pair, maybe some suited connectors, some suited aces, like just these hands. I don't even expect all suited aces here. I don't think that's this guy. I think he's looking at mostly pocket pairs here. And perhaps we could get rid of these and really go with it and just say he's looking at this range. That's probably realistic for him. Big blind, he's getting a good price. He's playing 24, so 20% VPIP, 4% preflop raise. His preflop call in the big blind is 31%. He's getting a good price. I'm expecting him to call with a wide range of hands, and I'm just going to say this is 44, almost 45%. I think this is probably about right. He didn't 3-bet, and that's important to note. So if he didn't 3-bet, I'm going to kind of exclude like kings plus ace king. Just because, again, he didn't 3-bet. Just like this guy, he just called. So this is more of like a calling range that I expect. So we see a flop of 5-6-8. That's not terrible. We've got a gut shot. We've got an overpair. Things we have to be concerned with is if we do catch a 9, any 7's going to have a straight out there. I think it would be somewhat of a small chance. So, if we just look at individuals, this is 1.5% is the current straight right now. For the big blind, for the in position player, he's looking at 13%. Oh, no chance of a straight yet. I guess we're looking at straights versus, let's say, sets plus. So we're looking at 3% for this player, whopping 13%. That's more likely because he's got a lot of pocket pairs. I can also have a set because I have my range kind of similar to his range. And then this guy's, he's got hands that he's going to have to get rid of. He's got also, it's about 5% or so set plus. So what's our plan? Our plan's probably just to check. If it goes check, I think our plan's probably just to check, see what happens. I don't really want to be aggressive because I think this is a board that's going to hit a lot of people. I don't think we're going to get a whole lot of folds just yet. We can always take a stab if like the turn's like a 10. We can always take a stab at it because now we still have a gut shot. And I guess there is no problem to really bet here too, because if called, we can always catch a 7 or we could catch a 9 to improve our hand. So we get 2 checks. I'm not surprised with this player. This player checks. I would have expected straights and sets to bet here, and same thing with 2 pair. And I also think overpair would probably bet here. Maybe not all of them. let's say 9s, 10s, jacks. 9s I expect to bet. But 10s, jacks, let's say, are in his range. Top pair, all these hands. Don't expect the open ender. I think the open ender would have bet. So I think that's his range. And it's on us. And as I said, I think we could possibly bet this. We could bet the set. We would bet a set. I think we could bet the overpair kind of for value to buy equity, fold out some hands. And we wouldn't mind folding out like those overpair hand or those overcard hands. Yeah, I think we could fold out those overpair hands. We could bet the 7s, and that is basically our open ender. So, you know, if we just kind of look at it. I think that could be our betting range here. I don't think we're going to fold everyone out. I think this guy could have trips, and that's kind of the problem. I think this is why I checked it here, is I didn't want to bet with these hands, which seem like we should be betting, only to be raised by this player. So I was kind of actually, I believe in this hand, I was checking with the intention to call if he bets, because I do expect him to bet. Or I mean, if I checked, if he bets, I'm calling. It's always, we can always see what's going to happen. If he bets and someone raises, we can fold. I mean, we're drawing to a 9. I think we're probably just drawing to a 7, and even then, maybe we're not good. I think this player could have 9-7. This player could possibly have 9-7 as well. I don't think either of us have 9-7. So I think we've kind of left everything in our range, which is basically, you know, another 40%, 43%. So this guy checks, and I'm not going to read too much into it because of the texture of the board. He's a tight player, so I'm not really expecting him. You kind of think, well, maybe sets would bet. I kind of think a tight player like this probably isn't betting the sets just yet. I think he's waiting for the turn. So we're going to leave in all of the range. We catch a 9. So that's just kind of a slight problem for us, because now any 7 connects. So let's check it out. Big blind now has a straight 14% of his range. Next guy doesn't have a straight, because again, he didn't bet. I kind of expect him to bet if he had a 7. So no chance that he has a straight. We can have a straight 13, 14% of the time. This player can have a straight about 9% of the time. So these 3 are the ones that have most likely to have a straight. Villain 3 checks. Villain 8 checks. I think that's okay. Now it's on us. I checked. Is that okay? Yeah, I think that's okay. We could be betting straights, but again, I don't want to bet and get raised and have to give up my equity. Because I don't think I could call a check raise. Especially this guy, if I bet here and he just shoves all in, it's going to be a tough one. More than likely, he's going to have the 7 at that point. But if he doesn't, they all have to worry about the 7. So I'm kind of thinking, again, check calling. Go for, river maybe. So we leave everything in our range. And villain 7 checks now. So at this point, I'm kind of starting to discount the straights. I think his straight would bet here, but I think he's going to leave his sets in 2 pair and all that. So we're going to do that and get rid of the straight. All right, 3 of clubs. Now at this point, if these players check, they don't have the straight. All right, so villain 3 bets. He bets rather small. I don't think this is a size for a straight. I think this is a size that would be maybe something like this. I wouldn't even say middle pair. I think middle pair is going to check. I think maybe something like that. That's going to be his bet. It's betting kind of small. He's afraid of what's out there. And I beat basically everything here, including all of his sets. So villain 6 folds. He's out. It's on us. We're definitely going to call. Question is, should we raise? We don't know what villain 7's going to do. I'm kind of thinking with that small bet, if I raise, he's just gonna fold. I think the only hands that call will be the 7, so the bet really isn't a bet for value. So I think we're gonna be calling here. I think even with the straight, the best we can hope for, well, we can call. We can hope that someone with trips calls or with a set calls, but I kind of feel like if there's a bet and I raise here, everyone's going to fold. So that kind of makes it seem like that we could go for, bluff with, ace high hand, maybe with nothing hand. Just go ahead and raise. I don't think we're calling with top pair. I don't think we're calling with over pair, even though we kind of like it. I think what we're doing is calling with sets and straights, and then we're bluffing. We're bluffing those. Maybe we bet with the 7 as well. Just to kind of balance, keep people honest. I think our sets are a call. I don't like an overpair. I don't like calling with the overpair. Maybe something like that. We've got more bluffs, but I think that's just kind of how the hand plays out. So I did call. Again, I think if I raise, I'm only getting called by a 7. And this guy folds. So I kind of think it, since he wasn't betting, we're looking at something weak, maybe nothing. And I stand by my claim that I think if I raise, I think I'm folding everything out except the 7. So he shows 6s, he shows trips, which is in his range. Actually, probably stronger than expected. So just kind of take a note here. Call 2.8 in big blind versus MP, RF, RFI, and 2 callers with 6 diamonds, 6 clubs, and then check, bet. I can't remember what his bet was. It was a small bet, 2.6. Maybe like 20%. We'll say 25%. So 8 of spades, 6 of hearts, 5 of diamonds, 9 of diamonds, 3 of spades. So he had those hands, one of those hands that connected. Did I lose value on this? Possibly. Okay, right. Yeah, we've got it. Flop, we could bet. If we bet, he's getting. My guess is if we bet the flop, he's check raising it, and I think the 9 just, if we bet the 9, he's calling, and then he's checking to us on the river, and we're probably checking behind. Maybe a few big blinds is what we would miss out. I do think this could have been a good spot for a bluff with a lot of the other hands that we get here with. So all of these, ace high or the nothing hands. This could be a good spot where he bets small, we go for the bluff. We raise it up to basically pot. So 7, 8, almost like 20 big blinds. It's going to be hard for him to call with trips. He might actually, fold and show one card or maybe both cards. But it would be hard for him to fold. Now I could have a 7. I have pocket 7s, so it's there, definitely in my range. Do I have like 4-7? No. Do I have 4-2? No. Do I have 9-7? No, probably not. Do I have 10-7? Probably not. So, you know, I would just be representing the 7, and that could be a play. I kind of expect if he had the straight to bet. So he is consistent. I mean, this is consistent with him having a straight right now. But maybe I lost a few big blinds, but I think overall it was played okay. Not going to run GTO because we were four-handed, and GTO really works best with just heads-up play. So hopefully you enjoy this. If you do, look tomorrow for another one.